As you know, there are many theories circulating about the post-coronavirus world. There are many fears, mainly the fear of being unemployed. Many are already experiencing a shortage of money. People are afraid of new viruses, of coming out of their homes, of sending their kids to daycare. Surveys show that very few see the light at the end of the tunnel. The Kabbalists tell us that this is the era of the last generation.
The era of the last generation is finally here.
First of all, people are apprehensive about the term last generation. Last means that there's nothing after it.
Thank God there is nothing after it.
Please explain for the regular folk, what is the last generation?
The last generation is a state where we gradually prepare ourselves for transitioning to the next degree, the spiritual degree. We don't need to physically die in order to do so, but instead to live and to exist in a state of a spiritual connection.
What are the signs of the last generation?
The sign of the last generation is the fact that humanity has come to the point of having to correct itself and free itself of its egoism. We will no longer need to chase after all kinds of material, egoistic values. We can easily live quite naturally until the point where we no longer pay attention to the material values or the material life. Our only aspiration will be towards the spiritual, the connection between us. We will arrive at the state when the only thing we value is a mutual interconnection with each other.
So the way I live now is that there are some that I hate, there are some that are my enemies.
Well, you can start working on being even more than friends with everyone, even more than one whole.
You believe that humanity has started to move in this direction?
I see it very clearly. And mind you, this movement is quite intensive.
You always say that nature assists us in arriving at this connection. It's forcing us to do so. And if we keep resisting it, it keeps pushing us more and more. What can we do for people to feel this? Because one has to feel that he is a complete egoist, right? Isn't that what's important?
One will feel this along the way. On the one hand, he'll feel pressure to get closer with others. And on the other, once he starts doing it, he'll immediately feel resistance on the part of his egoism. Whatever will be in the way of his connection, he will recognize as egoism. Otherwise, it's hard for a person to pinpoint it.
Tell me one more thing, please. What are the laws of the last generation?
In general, these laws are rooted in unity.
Does a person have to understand that there's no other way out? This is my main concern.
It is necessary.
The fact that humanity has no other way out.
We have no way out. It's over. We already started on the path. We cannot deviate from it.
So my task now is to agree and accept this gradual movement in small steps towards our unity.
Yes, of course.
To start discussing and thinking about it, right?
Exactly. We need to understand that everything that exists is integrally interconnected, and that we have to be interconnected between ourselves and with the rest of nature. And until we reach such a love for each other that the wolves will graze with the sheep, we will no longer achieve our mission. We will have to bring the whole of nature to interconnected love.
What are wolves and sheep in regards to people?
They are literally wolves and sheep.
Meaning that nobody will inflict harm on another?
Only to care for one another, because humans do not care for one another.
And everything starts with human beings.
Indeed.
This is the pinnacle, right?
Of course.
So everything follows this chain, the pyramid, and as soon as humans reach this state, everything will balance itself out?
Yes.
So it's these three rules, right?
Yes.
1, integrality of nature. 2, I am inside the integral nature and I must resemble it. 3,
and if I will move towards integrality in nature, then the whole of nature will become integral.
Well, at least one can comprehend this.
This can only be seen with the arrival of the virus. It's not about to let go of its grip on us. We cannot have any hopes of coming out of it. We must only move toward the common integral interconnection. It is there that we will find the right benevolent easy existence. So here we will have to rewire ourselves, certainly.
And we also have to rewire ourselves to realize that compassionate, loving nature can bring us to great suffering.
We begin egoists, don't want to change. We feel that the compassionate, loving nature should accept us the way we are, just the way it created us, so it should be. But no, it created us opposite to our final corrected state, and is gradually bringing us to it, so that we learn the difference between these states and grow into adulthood.